So I'm out in the high desert. We're just wandering this area as it comes into a juniper forest. And what we're hoping to come across are mainly projectile points or hunting artifacts. I don't think I would come across, a village of any type. I mean, if anything, we could possibly come across a kill site or a seasonal hunting camp. That's about it. But as we meander through the sage and juniper trees, we do find random broken artifacts, and that's generally what I find a majority of the time are broken artifacts. So just to give an example, right here along the base of this rock, here's a fractured, more than likely projectile point of some sort, and you can see how it's been worked. The contours on the surface here from the napping or flaking, and it's a biface. It's been worked on both sides. However, there's not much left of it, just this piece. So more than likely the projectile point was fractured or broken upon impact. As you can notice, the ground here is just really rocky. So that's maybe we'll get lucky and come across a more intact or fully intact artifact. I keep my expectations low because it's pretty rare, to be honest with you. But if we can come across a fairly intact artifact, then perhaps we can identify it and get kind of like a dating process just for the area. It goes without saying this area has been hunted for thousands of years. So cultures would have come on top of cultures on top of cultures through the time, and you'll find artifacts from, say, Desert Archaic Period 6,000 years ago on up to the Prehistoric Period. So it's just really interesting what you can come across, and that's what we're up to today. Just wandering around out here in the higher desert, hoping we come across something interesting. And honestly, you never really know what you could possibly come across in an area like this. I don't particularly feel like I'd come across a village of any sorts. Mainly there doesn't seem to be a reliable water source in the vicinity. I mean, maybe there's some springs somewhere that I don't know about, but like I said, I think anything that would have been in here would have been a kill site or just a seasonal hunting camp. But you just need to, I pay attention to terrain especially. I just think this was just been a good hunting area. And it's interesting because generally this is a volcanic area. The primary material would be obsidian. However, I come across chert sometimes too, and I'm just mentioning that because you look on the ground here, this sticks out. You see the ground is just like this, but this is different. So that's lithic material. That's flakes of, I believe, chert. And that's interesting because there's some of that material there, then there's some material here. Oh yeah, you can definitely see how that's been worked. So I always wonder when I find pieces like this, I don't know if this is imported in, traded for, chert was traded for obsidian and vice versa. If someone sat here and worked on the tool, there's a lot of different variables, a lot of different possibilities. It's just fascinating to think about. But like I mentioned, if we can find an intact artifact, then we can possibly get an idea of, a time period. However, if it's on the surface, that's also hard to place it. I mean, you just need more of a context. So because as I mentioned in a lot of the videos, you can see that it's not heavily vegetated. So the desert floor here, the high desert floor, it's always fluctuating, it's always moving, it's always changing. Lots of wind through the area that'll uncover things, get heavy rains, it'll bury, so likewise, so forth and so on. So it's just kind of hard to put it all together sometimes. And then, sometimes you really come across something really cool. But, it's interesting regardless. Okay, More evidence right here at my feet. That's a piece of obsidian. That's just some lithic material, just some flaking. Boy, we're coming across things kind of few and far between, but it's out here. So what does it mean? Well, we definitely know people were here. Was there a camp nearby? Was a hunt going on here? Was someone just walking through here and working on a tool? I mean, pretty interesting. We just need to find like an artifact. Maybe. All right, we might have just got our first real clue. Oh, what do we got here? Looks like we got the base of something. Right by this big pile of animal scat. Like I said, I think this is just really good hunting grounds. So that's probably what we're going to come across. But this is fantastic. Oh, look at this. Woo, okay. So it looks like it broke in two spots right there where my fingertip is. One of the tangs there broke off. And this might have been a longer point here. So as I mentioned, you can see how rocky the ground is. Oh, wow. So what do we have here? Oh, we got a nice worked piece. Big notch right there. Well, looks like it maybe broke there too. I'm not sure. It's hard to say for certain, but we might have a better idea of what we're into here. This dart point, projectile point might have been, you know, about that big where my fingertip is. I'm not certain. There's really not much left of it. Just a little bit of this area here. So identifying it and getting a date is beyond what I know. I couldn't do it, or I should say I can't do it. I'm not certain. So this could be a number of things, but this is good. This is good. So we'll just put that back where we found it and mark the spot. Okay, right on. Okay, what do we got here? Boy, that sticks out, doesn't it? Huh. Maybe it's just a flake. I don't know, looks like it's been worked on this side. A couple spots here. Definitely stood out. That's good because I haven't come across anything for like a good 45 minutes of walking. Well, it's getting a little interesting. This has definitely been shaped here. Oh wow, look at that. Whoa. Well, that was shaped without a doubt. You can see where it's been worked. What was it? That is interesting. I've heard these referred to as turtlebacks. I'm not sure if this was a preform. I just don't know. It's interesting though, and yeah. Okay, well, we're definitely come across some things. I'll just put that down and once again mark it. So I spent another maybe 45 minutes wandering the area, kind of crisscrossing, and I've come across a significant amount of lithic debris, both chert and obsidian. So I'm not sure what to make of the area. I think probably this is just really fertile hunting grounds. So that being said, as I'm coming out of the juniper forest and kind of coming out into the sage here, I've got an artifact right here where my finger's pointing. So obsidian, and it looks like it's a completely intact base. Oh yeah, man, that's a score right there. So Let's get it up. Oh man, yeah. Perfect. Check that out. You know, that might have been repurposed. Looks like there's some work on that edge. I thought it was a clean break, but it doesn't appear to be. It looks like that break's been worked. I'm not a professional, so I have no really way of discerning that other than just what I'm thinking. But as I get closer, it does look like that edge has been worked. So this might have been a broken piece that someone found and then reworked it, turning it into another point right here. Totally possible. It looks, let's see, that edge has been worked. Or maybe they broke it and just worked it into a point like this. So this is fantastic. There's a big piece missing right here. That's really interesting. So checking out that base, yeah, I can't identify this. One of the viewers that has a lot more knowledge than me, I know there are a couple of you out there, maybe you can help out with the identification of this one. But that might be a complete artifact there, reworked into a point. Kind of looks like it on this side anyway. It's a biface, worked on both sides. I feel like this may be from definitely in the Archaic period. Can't say for certain when, and I could be completely wrong with that, but that's what I'm thinking. And yeah, wow, that's fantastic. Right on. Got some nice coloration there. How about that? We found an artifact. Actually, a few artifacts, but this one's the one. Very nice. All right, what do you guys think? And as I usually do, I will leave this where I found it right here. However, there's a lot of animal activity in the area, mule deer, even free-range cattle. So I'm just going to stack some rocks around it to protect it. And then I'm going to mark it with the GPS point. So, fantastic day. So I'm just going to go ahead and start making my way back to the truck and see if I come across anything else. I'm going to kind of stay up at this elevation, kind of a little in between the top and the lower. See if we come across another point. Anyway, as I mentioned, I felt that projectile point probably came from the Archaic period. And I just want to be clear when I say the Archaic period, that's a very long stretch of time. And it's probably, depending on who what you look at as far as the timeline, let's just say it's probably a period of like 7,000 years. So that's a stretch of time for sure. So you've got, there's different parts of the Archaic period, like the late, middle, and early. And the Archaic period kind of started at the end of the Ice Age. And then you've got, after the Archaic period, you've got prehistoric, then historic, of course. So that's just a generalization. You can tweak it all you want. So when I said the point probably comes from the Archaic period, it's a pretty broad brush, you know. So that's my explanation. Anyway, we're going to continue making our way back to the truck and see if we come across anything, and that'll be a wrap. All right, just some more lithic material. Truck's right there, so not too much farther to go. I've come across some obsidian flakes and chert flakes, so yeah, I'm just under the impression this was it's a good area to hunt, so I'm sure people just came through this area seasonally. I don't think there would have been any type of village, maybe a camp, hunting camp. I could be completely wrong. I'm not a professional. Fantastic day. I wasn't even intending to film, so there you have it, man. Once again, just amazing to find these things and the human connection. And obviously something that's could be very, very old, possibly. Anyway, as always, appreciate you watching. I got lots more content on the way. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps tremendously and it's free. So we'll see you next time. D-Rock out. Adios.